There's nothing more damaging to a president's legacy than a military failure. JFK could never outrun the Bay of Pigs. It was a debacle, and he owned up to it. Gerald Ford will always be remembered as the president with the fall of Saigon. And when it comes to the pullout of Afghanistan, it's plain to see history will repeat itself and view President Biden's exit as an unmitigated disaster. 1 year later, ISIS-K has expanded its reach across the Taliban-ruled country. People are starving to death, and people are still left behind, let alone women's rights. Even worse, President Biden's withdrawal came after his advisors told him it was a bad idea. Joining us right now, the author of Battlegrounds, who knows it was a bad idea, Lieutenant General HR McMaster. We're a year removed right now, General, from Afghanistan. We had an explosion virtually a year ago today, where 13 Americans lost their lives, many more injured, hundreds of Afghanis lost their lives, and the explosion at Abbey Gate. Your reflections today?
Yeah, Brian, it's just heartbreaking. And you know what's even worse is that this was a self-defeat based on self-delusion, right? We created the enemy we would prefer in Afghanistan. Remember what we heard? Oh, the Taliban will share power. They'll put in a more benign form of Sharia. And there's a bold line, between the Taliban and al-Qaeda. Actually, we had this idea that we were going to partner with the Taliban against al-Qaeda and other jihadist terrorists. Well, guess who just got killed in an airstrike, just a couple of weeks ago is the leader of al-Qaeda. These groups are completely intertwined. You see the hell that they're putting all Afghans through, and especially women. I mean, it's time to wake up and recognize that we defeated ourselves based on a fantasy about the nature of the Taliban.
So there's a story today that the bomber, who we still haven't killed, we killed the wrong person, that at Abbey Gate stood there. He was let go of Bagram Air Base from the prison, and he stood there for a couple of days. He was spotted by Marines. The CIA identified him, and the rules of engagement did not impress the Pentagon or the administration enough, or the State Department more than likely, to kill him. It looks like he was the killer, the suicide bomber. Your reaction to that, and what do you think about if you remember the families that lost a loved one there?
Well, it just ought to make us angry, right? Because what we have seen is we have seen leaders across multiple administrations now who don't fight as hard as they expect our servicemen and women to fight abroad. And they deluded themselves into thinking it's okay to fight a war without trying to win the war. And so we had a lack of determination at senior levels, and I think mainly among political leaders who tried to accommodate with this myth of the Taliban that they created, who prioritized withdrawal over accomplishing our objectives there. And what's crazy, Brian, is not only did this person probably get released from Bagram by the Taliban, but we pressured the Afghan government to get that really bad deal that the Trump administration actually signed in 2020, February of 2020. We made them release 5,000 so the most heinous terrorists on earth. Then go back to the Obama administration. Remember the Bergdahl deal and the release of Guantanamo prisoners. I mean, the recidivism rate going back to the battlefield is so high, Brian. I mean, these are all the people who became the military leaders at the provincial level, the shadow governors within Afghanistan. We kept releasing the enemy. And that's a sign of a lack of determination, I think.
Absolutely. And the list of people fired, none. All right. Nobody's lost their job. No politicians paid the price. No State Department official said I resign. No general said that's it. No one put their stars on the ground rather than exit the way they did. And I find that terrible. I want to go to Ukraine. As Admiral Stavridis told me today, and General Keane agreed on one thing. He did not believe we'd have a Russian invasion of Ukraine if we didn't leave Afghanistan the way we did. I'm sure you have your own opinion. Having said that, Vladimir Putin is 6 months in, and now he's in a desperate mode. He is desperately trying to get more men and women to enlist in the army. What's really going on there?
Well, he can't do it. He can't generate the manpower because what he's afraid of is if he tries to mobilize, well, what happens to the narrative of this isn't really a war, it's just a special military operation? What happens in terms of popular discontent? He can't mobilize also because it would be an embarrassment, Brian. Look how poor the equipment is for the active army. And so he doesn't have equipment to equip any large-scale mobilization effectively. So he's going to these kind of volunteer battalions where he's trying to get towns and cities to raise volunteers. And then they're being thrown into combat without sufficient training and the ability to build teamwork and to build cohesive teams who can fight together. So I think he is lost much more than we know at this point. We're saying 60,000 casualties. It could be much more than that. But also he can't equip that force. He's lost the equivalent of about 6 years of tank production, for example,
right.
Brian. So he can't mobilize, I think, without jeopardizing his regime. Hey, we have to remember these authoritarian regimes, they look really strong from the outside. But they're actually quite brittle.
Because what are they actually fighting for? That's key. Bottom line is we have to make sure, General, there's someone like you that can make sure when we write a $3 billion check to buy equipment, that equipment gets to the front lines. Because if you want to lose American support, show us we're wasting money. And I just don't see anyone in country making sure that's done. And I hope the administration understands that. General, always great to talk to you. Battlegrounds is something everyone should read. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian. Good to be with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.